Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. The team that we're going to be taking a look at today is our 2024 Florida State Seminoles football team. We are going to do a complete preview, breakdown of their entire roster, seeing the players that they lost from last season, but also some of the players that they're bringing in for the 2024 season. And we're also going to look over their entire schedule, try to see which games we think they're going to win, lose, and what we predict their final score will be. So go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you have any comments, drop them below and I will make sure to respond. So our 2024 Florida State Seminoles, this is a completely different team than the team that they trotted out on the field last season. A complete turnover. They sent a lot of players to the draft, and they've completely replaced them through recruiting and through the transfer portal. You have Mike Norvell. He is the head coach. He's coming in his fifth year at Florida State. The last two seasons, he's gone 10 wins. He's gone 13 wins. So the team right now is in an upward trajectory. They've been doing a lot better. When he took over, they were not on national standing. Right now, a lot of people, again, back-to-back seasons, have them potentially competing for the college football playoff. We know everything that happened last season. They were left out of the Final Four, did not make the college football playoff, and that pissed off a lot of Florida State and a lot of college football fans. Thought that they should have made the playoffs. They were undefeated during the regular season, but they were left out. But maybe with the playoffs going to 12 teams, this is their chance to get in. They have that chip on their shoulder, but as we mentioned, this is a new team. They still have their sights, though, on the ACC championship, and then after that, the college football playoff. But Jordan Travis, he was the leader at the quarterback position, the leader on offense. He's now gone. He was at Florida State for 5 or 6 seasons. He's gone. The running back, Trey Benson, he's gone. Keon Coleman's gone. Johnny Wilson's gone. The tight end Bell's gone. A lot of players on the defensive side, all gone. So the stars, they're not there. But if anything Florida State does well, they work the portal extremely well. They always bring in top 5 transfer portal classes. And Mike Norvell has also been doing pretty good on the recruiting trail, bringing in top 15 classes. And they're bringing in DJU from Oregon State. He was the quarterback. He is transferring. DJU is not going to lead the offense. He's not going to be a difference maker. But what he can be is an experienced quarterback who's played on big stages, who doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So that's what you're getting with DJU. Probably 2,800 yards, maybe 24 touchdowns, 7 picks. Pretty standard, and he can run the ball. He's a very large, mobile quarterback, so they can rely on him. But their main strength is going to be on their offensive line. I think they have 139 snap starts on the offensive line. Very experienced line, and their defense lost a lot of playoffs from last season, but they've replaced them. They're very deep on the defensive side, so as the defense continues to play well, that's going to buy them time for the offense to get in a rhythm with a lot of new starters there. They are bringing in Portier on offense, Douglas, Williams, the Bama transfer Benson, the LSU transfer Brown. So a lot of new players that just need a couple weeks to get rolling for the offense to be able to catch up to the defense. But it will be a defensively led team. Rely on them. Rely on the running game behind your offensive line, and then DJU will find his place. But let's get started taking a look at this schedule. So they kick things off Saturday, August 24th versus Georgia Tech. This is a pretty early game. This is a week 0 game. So they will have one of the very first games of the entire college football season. Georgia Tech, obviously, they're bringing back the quarterback King from last season's team. They won 8 games last year. Don't underestimate Georgia Tech. They are a very competitive team. They almost beat Georgia at the very end of the 2023 season. But obviously, there's still going to be a talent gap here. The only way that Georgia Tech could potentially even have a chance is because it's game 1 and Florida State has so many new starters in the system. But I have Florida State winning this game pretty handily, probably like a 35-20 game, and they're 1-0. They follow that up Monday, September 2nd, versus Boston College. Boston College, you have Bill O'Brien, who's now going to be the head coach at Boston College. But outside of him, they really don't have any players. They were a 6-7 team last season. I think their quarterback was Castellanos. They had a very run-heavy team, and you'd be running right into Florida State's strength, which is their defensive line. Florida State's going to win that one. Let's say like a 38-14 game. They're 2-0. Then Saturday, September 14th, versus Memphis. This is a potential slip-up game here, a potential upset game. Memphis has been really competitive for probably the last 4 to 5 seasons. They're one of those teams that's just outside of getting an invite to a Power 4 conference. So they can make this game competitive, maybe first half, but second half they'll start getting tired. Florida State's going to win it. Let's say a 40-27 game, and they're 3-0. Saturday, September 21st versus California. Florida State's been at home for all of these games. California, new team to the ACC. Another run-heavy team. They do have a top 10 running back in all of college football. Had 1,500 yards last season. They averaged 220 yards on the ground. They can run the ball, but again, you're not going to beat Florida State running. You have to beat them vertically through the air. Florida State's going to win this one because they can rely on their defense. They're going to win it, but more of a lower scoring game because it's going to be a run-heavy game. Let's say a 30-17, and they're 4-0. Saturday, September 28th at SMU, another new team to the ACC. You don't want to sleep on SMU and Peyton Stone at the quarterback position. They're a really good team. They were a 10-win team last season. They're going to be really good in the ACC. Florida State could definitely drop this one. This is almost a 50-50 one to me, but I'm going to go with Florida State in a close one, 28-24, and they're 5-0. Saturday, October 5th, we have versus Clemson. Clemson, Dabo Swinney, you had Kate Klubnik at the quarterback position. They are running back almost the entire team. They don't work the portal at all, did not bring in any transfer portal players. A lot of pressure on Dabo to adopt to modern college football. He's not doing it, but they have ruled the ACC for almost a full decade now. But I think Florida State has supplanted them as a team of the conference. But I'm going to go with Clemson getting the win here. They are due. They should have won that game last season, but they didn't make the kick. I have Clemson getting revenge here in a run-heavy game because Clemson's defense is probably better than Florida's. Clemson's going to have a top 10 defense. Florida State's defense will be very good, but not Clemson level. I have Clemson winning an extremely low-scoring game, 21-17, and Florida State's 5-1. Then Friday, October 18th at Duke, Manny Diaz is now the head coach for Duke. They're bringing in Murphy, who's the transfer quarterback from Texas. Duke's going to get run on, thrown on. They will make it competitive for the first 2 quarters, but then they'll lose this one, let's say a 41-20, and Florida State's 6-1. Then Saturday, October 26th at Miami. This is another game. It's going to be really close, a massive rivalry, one of the biggest rivalries in all of college football. But Miami's made a lot of changes in the offseason. They're bringing in Cam Ward. They're bringing in Damian Martinez. They're bringing in Brown from Houston. They're bringing in top 5 transfer portal classes, top 5 recruiting classes. But they're due for a win. I have Florida State taking a loss on the road at Miami. Let's put this one 34-27. Florida State is what they'd be 6-2. Then Saturday, November 2nd versus North Carolina. They just lost to Miami. They're going to be upset, so they're going to take out their revenge on the Tar Heels. They're going to win this one pretty handily. I'm going to say it's going to be a 44-20 game. Florida State 7-2. And then Saturday, November 9th at Notre Dame. Notre Dame, one of the toughest places to play. They're going to have a top 5 defense. They have Riley Leonard as the quarterback. They have Denbrock transferring over as the offense coordinator. He's going to make a massive difference. I have Notre Dame running the table this year, but beating Florida State in another low-scoring game, 27-20. Florida State is 7-3. Then Saturday, November 23rd versus Charleston Southern. Obviously, that game's going to be a blowout. They're going to beat them up pretty bad. Let's put this one at a 50-14, and Florida State is 8-3. Final game of the year, Saturday, November 30th versus Florida. Florida's going to have a lot of pressure on them. Billy Napier is going to have a lot of pressure on him. Will they even get a bowl game? They have the hardest college football schedule I've ever seen. Billy Napier is probably going to be fired at this point of the season. They'll have an interim coach. They might not be making a bowl game. They're not going to have much to play for, even though it's a rivalry game because they don't even know what their future holds. I have Florida State beating Florida. This game's going to be a 33-23 game. I have Florida State finishing the regular season 9-3. Vegas has them coming in at 9.5 wins, so I'm going with the under on that. Still a really good team. I just think they have to replace too many players from last team's really good squad. But Florida State is still on a really good trajectory. They're working the recruiting. They're working the transfer portal. So the foundation has been laid by Norvell. So that's my breakdown of the 2024 Florida State Seminoles. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below. Thanks.